Knowledge by itself is not power. It holds the potential for power if we use it as a guide for action. Edward G. Griffith. Beware the head of the snake. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for entering the tiger's den.
Power, ferocity, and directness describes the attack of the animal kingdom's most feared predator, the tiger, whose major weapons are his powerful forepaws and razor-sharp claws, which, with a single swipe, can down a full-grown deer.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for spending your time in the Tiger's Den. We will try not to waste it. It is Friday, June 9th, 2023 AD. I am Angry Tiger, and this is the Tiger and Snake Financial Report. We do it every week, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to La La Land, where debt is money. A grave warning also, ladies and gentlemen, from Goldman Sachs. They are warning us about something, so get ready. They have some news for us. Also, the Fed, do you know what they say to you? Pork you! That's what they say to you. Costco and I shall explain. Your pockets and the pockets of your future generations are so deep. I thought I'd like to let you all know this, ladies and gentlemen. They are so deep that the federal government has decided that they are unlimited. Man, what ballers they are. Unlimited ballers for 2 years. Forget the ceiling for 2 years, ladies and gentlemen. It is a rocket ship of corruption for all of the garbage eaters in the government to hitch a ride all the way to Mars. And guess what? It gets a little musky on Mars, from what I'm told. Also, ladies and gentlemen, a global slowdown as the snake tightens its excrement-filled coils and slowly constricts and consolidates its prey, preparing for its consumption. Prepare yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, for flying scales, claws of truth, and shrieking snakes. Hold on, because you have the tiger by the tail. What is going on? It is Friday, ladies and gentlemen. It is a beautiful day here in the lower Huron Valley in the dirty glove of Michigan. With us tonight, as usual, always here with us, is Bouncer, the dude dog, dressed up like a dude. He is a ninja hound, and yesterday he had such a vigorous day of rolling around in the dust that he is on his luxury couch snoozing in his luxury way. So that's how he's doing. But this week, it was like La La Land. You know, I'm sitting there and I'm looking at things, and it's like, wow, this is lots of crazy stuff going on. I was watching the 10-year yield and the relative strength of the dollar dance around and play games. I watched the bond market dance around. And as usual, the bond market, I always ask myself, who is buying the debt? You know, it takes big, gigantic money. Like, you would need to be a central bank, perhaps, and be able to create money out of debt or thin air and pull it into the now, okay, to be able to buy this much debt. And why that's important is because what happens is that creates a hyper bubble in the market. That keeps the market stable. The debt market worldwide is unstable. And when the stock market sees the debt market fluctuating, they see a bond sell-off worldwide, they freak out, okay? They know something bad is happening, right? Some kind of, there's a disturbance in the force of the bubble, right? It's not, here it comes. It's going right towards a dandelion, you know? And that's what central banks do. That's all they do. They blow bubbles. That's exactly. I'm forever blowing bubbles. They're blowing bubbles in the air. They're blowing them in your face. They're blowing them in your hair. They're blowing them straight up your rear end as well, right where the brass should not be. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the key of the central bank. But back to what that does. So the stock market looks at the bond market constantly. They're watching it, okay? And they know the yield curve is inverted worldwide. And that should give everyone like tremendous pause, like the ground of the financial world is shaking. But it's meaningless to them because the central banks around the world are going to keep the game going and keep buying the debt, okay? And this creates malinvestment, high-risk investment, and it creates a gigantic bubble, which you're seeing in the stock market right now. This is why I say La La Land. The stock market is not connected to reality in any way, shape, or form. It is fantasy world. You know, Randy over there at AK Soundwave Promotions, he's on Twitter. Check him out. He had a meme, and there's this. I should have pulled it up. I didn't have time, but he had this meme of what was it? Central banks or something issuing currency or something like that. And then he had people living in their fantasy world. And then he had voting. And, this guy standing in, the fires, like a forest fire with a garden hose. It was just, and voting was the garden hose. And that's what it is. It's the system has failed. The central banks are in control of everything. We're doomed. There's unless we, which hopefully the chance is small, but if we could, when they're going to collapse the currency, and there's a chance when this happens that you can get people to see the light. But we got to get rid of the tribalism first. The Pavlovian mind warp, Jedi mind tricks from the head of the snake-headed gypsy tin benders at the Federal Reserve who will rob your dog and eat your dog if it will profit them and they can charge interest on it. Okay, that's their deal, and create money and pull it into the now. They'll do anything they can to do that. They'll start wars. They'll mass murder people. This is what they'll starve us to death because food inflation. We're going to talk about that in a second. It really boggles my mind. And as a human being, it hurts to look at people walking around oblivious to what's going on. All things are, you hear the talk. It's like they talk about it like it's no big deal. Hey, I spilled some ketchup on my shoe over here. No, food inflation's going. The food prices are crazy. Did you see that, Marshall? Well, yeah, Wendy, I seen that. Did you tell Greg about that? Well, yeah, I told. And they're just like, well, and you're because what's happening is they're getting credit. They're spending more. The debt, credit card debt's at an all-time high. I'm going to get into that. It's just, ladies and gentlemen, when I looked at, because I'm looking at this stuff daily. I don't just come on here Friday and say, oh, what am I going to report on? I'm keeping my eyeball on this stuff while I'm, restoring old cars and, doing other things to make a living. But this is a hobby of mine and interest. So I do keep an eye on all this stuff. I'm watching the markets. I'm watching the prices of the crypto, the Bitcoin, all that. But I also like to watch the global, like you learn this from watching guys like Salente, the trends, what's going on in the world, terra firma, like I talk about, flesh-wise. We're going to have, I'm pretty sure I'm safe in announcing this because he agreed to do it. And this is going to be different. This is a person I know. He's from an urban area. His vernacular is not going to be anything that you're used to, but he's going to give me a terra firma of what it's like right now in the urban area where incomes are low. That's going to come very soon, probably next week on the Tiger and the Snake financial report. Definitely. I'm going to introduce the guy. He's a good guy, but and he's a smart guy. He's a master mechanic. And I'll tell you what, you can't be dumb and be able to do that. But he lives in an urban area and his vernacular is different, but he's smart, and he's going to tell you he's like us. He's going to tell you exactly how it is, whether you like it or not. So that's what we do here in the Tiger's Den. He's from the concrete. We're bringing in our friends from the concrete jungle. We're bringing in one of the lions from the concrete jungle to give us the terra firma report. So let's get into it. So the first thing I wanted to get going on today is we've got Goldman Sachs, an alert from Goldman Sachs. Yes, they're coming. Goldman Sachs wants you to know there's a big alert here. And just so you know, I'm not talking out of my rear end. Boy, I wish that thing would shut up. Here it is. Goldman Sachs CEO warns of mini stagflation scenario. Well, I read the whole article. I'm not going to bore you by monologuing the article. And plus, I'm learning as I do this. I'm not very good at reading aloud sometimes. Sometimes I get into a flow, but you see what you get. Angry Tiger's just like, blah. It's in the mind. It's coming out of the mouth. There's no filter. But yeah, so no. So sometimes I read good, and I'll continue to do that when I have to. But basically, to sum this up, because I don't like giving Goldman Sachs too much fortune and fame. As a matter of fact, let's get them off the screen. They're bankers. They sit in presidential cabinets. They sit in our Treasury Department. Like I said, central bank, big banks. That's all it is. That's it right there. I just explained it. The central bank is the main body, big banks. And then you got the garbage eaters because you got the trough of corruption being filled up. They love it. So Goldman Sachs said they want you to know, just in case you didn't know, just in case you've never tuned into the Tiger and Snake financial report, they want you to know, or have been walking around, buying stuff, that the inflation is going to continue to surge. Food inflation is leading. Okay. Food inflation is the number one thing that is inflating at the fastest pace out of all the things that are inflating. It is food. Okay. That's the cost of food is rising faster than anything. And they'd like you to know there might be a recession coming. These are the things that make me angry. They changed the definition of recession not too long ago. Okay. And if you ask me, the definition for recession is extremely loose. And it's some percentage point of, like I told you, they start when they do the CPI and they do this inflation figuring out. They take this basket of goods and they get all their stupid Federal Reserve. They got one here in St. Louis, one here in this district, six districts. They're all districted up, right? Just like the district courts, okay, and the federal district courts. They're all districted up, and they get all these numbers of the cost of this, but not food. No. No. We don't need to know about food. That's not important. That's not important at all. Fuel. Oh no, we don't. Energy. Oh yeah, we don't put that. Goods. They call it a basket of goods, and they say, oh, when people like Angry Tiger say that we don't include food and we don't include fuel, they're being disingenuous because we do include fuel. It's in the basket of goods. No, it's not. It is based off the index of goods that moves around in the country. It's like a wholesale taking. All right, they look at how many food goods are moving around, like the money velocity index, similar to that. Like we just went over this last week, as a matter, the manufacturing index. Okay, there's also like a shipping index, a goods index. All these things are tracked. How much is moving around, when, where. Okay, that's very important for us to track. As we're going to get into this, as I point off into nothing. I'm pointing at a screen over here. As we get into this, you're going to see why all this stuff is important. Okay. We've got bad things going on, ladies and gentlemen, and I hate to bring this news to you because I want everyone to have a life that is fulfilling. I want people to grow. I explain to you. I know this is a financial report, and I go off into these like, hey, money's not what makes you rich, and it's not, because it's important that we understand these things. It's very important that we understand these things because we have been engineered socially. We have been brainwashed, all of us, even those of us who are lucid, who are watching this right now. If you're watching Angry Tiger, you already know some shit. Okay, I know that, right? You already know some stuff. You're watching Angry Tiger, you know some stuff. You're watching anybody on the TNP platforms, you know some stuff. You're watching, David Knight, you know some stuff. You watch Tony Underberg, you know some stuff. All right, that's already. But even us, we fall into this. It's the keeping up with the Joneses, or it's the, hey, I want to get this, or hey, I got to have that, or hey, I want to secure my future and all that. I got a secret for everybody. All that shit turns to dust, and you die and you turn to dust. Okay? So enrich yourself. If you take care of your mental, your physical, and your spiritual, your financial will come along. Whether it's you're going to be rich, that might not be in the cards, or you're going rich financially, or you're going to be okay, and you're gonna, make it, but you're rich in other ways. That's what I want for people, to get in their head, because this stuff that we value, it's fleeting, and it's going to be pulled away from us slowly here. Our lifestyles are going to be pulled away from us, and we're going to have to prepare ourselves for this transformation that's going to occur as they try to change currency, as they change the currency, as the hegemon of the dollar and the running the dollar into the ground and running this party. It's like, it's like crackheads and partiers and people, just it's a giant party that they've been having all this time, spending all this money with the Leviathan government. They sent more money to Ukraine too. I mean, it's just, the elections are coming up. They'll spend all taxpayers' money on stuff like that. All these boondoggle programs to make Biden look good. So, it's going to be a mess, and they keep printing the money, and the money comes from us, and it comes from our kids now, and their kids now, and their kids now. And it enrages me. And you go, Goldman Sachs like you to know, hey, we might be in a recession and food inflation is pretty bad, which leads us into the next story. We're breaking records for food insecurity. Why? Nobody's talking about any of this stuff. I don't understand. I don't. This is a Richmond Times Dispatch. I found this. Okay. This is at an all-time high. All right. The hunger relief sector is troubled. Food insecurity in the area in my agency serves is on the rise. Inflation, job fluctuations, housing closures, the end of COVID-19 assistance, the end of one of the hook and reel programs that the government put out that got people hooked on. They stopped working. They're getting all this money from the government. That's over. I wonder where they're at. I wonder what's happening to those poor people. You can get mad at these people all you want, but they exist. We have to deal with them. They're there. So pray for them or have some kind of good thoughts for them. Am I mad at these people? Am I mad at the people who go and vote and they don't read the bill that they're voting on? Am I mad at the people who go and vote because it's their team, blue versus red, like a freaking football game? What these people do with the laws and the regulations that they put on forth on us, ladies and gentlemen, not you guys, but the general public. I know you guys feel what I'm saying. Though it affects all of our lives, it affects my life because everybody was terrified and listened to the government and the whole COVID-19 thing. It ruined so many people. It affected our lives personally because these people, you want to say the sheeple, the normies, they're, what's wrong with them? They're there. We have to deal with them. Okay. And newsflash for all of us. What we've been doing, it's not working. It's not working. It's not working. Do you know why it's not working? Because we think and we take advantage of the fact that everyone is as smart as we are. Or I'm going to reword that because that's not a nice way to say that. That's pretty pejorative. They are not as alert or lucid as we are. Okay. And maybe smarts has something to do with it a little bit. Okay. But there's a large portion of the public that they're not interested in this kind of stuff. They don't want to hear it. They're scared to hear it. Or if they hear it, they don't understand it. It's too much. It's a giant rock that you're crushing them with of information. Because explain the Federal Reserve or fractional reserve to banking to someone. I was talking to my buddy, real good friend, fireworks, friend. I'm over here doing his breaks today. We're bullshitting, talking about this, that, and the other thing. And he's like, he's pretty awake. I was like surprised because he's a Republican guy. He likes Trump. I told him, but we could talk about it. I told him why I did not like Trump. But anyways, I explained the fractional reserve bank for him. He's not dumb, and he got this look on his face. Like when I was done, I was like, you put your money in, they loan it out to somebody else right away, and then they loan an extra $10,000, $10,000 on your $1,000. Okay. And he looked at me, he's like, it's like, yeah, that's hard to grasp. I had to stop and rewind him. But what we're doing is not working. We as a community, as the viewers, as the podcast hosts, I think the podcast hosts and the viewers need to work together. We need to look. We're not turning into anybody, but look at some of the techniques that the brainwashers, the social engineers use. Because unfortunately, we throw these terms around: red pill, blue pill, this pill, that pill. No, we need like a slowdown pill. Like let's look, what are these people doing? And what these people are doing are not drowning people in 10,000 gallon buckets of truth. They're repeating messages over and over again. They're subtle, and they're simple, and they repeat them over and over again. That's what they do. Okay, that's one technique that they do. But what I'd like people to do, okay, my good friend Vince Agnelli sent me this book, which I knew about. I just, did not have it. And this book is what they do. This is what they do. This is how they socially engineer us. This is the key. This book is one of the first editions, I believe, second edition, but the first book that came out on this. This is what these people are using against your citizenry, your fellow citizenry en masse. This is what's going on. So back to the thing off of my little deluge there. Where are we at on time? Okay, we got good time. A lot of people on tonight, and I don't like to run into their programs. We got some comments. Who's in there? OP, what's going on? OP, how you doing? Rhonda Tate, what's going on? Heartland Stonewall, what is going on, brother? Good people in the chat. There is enough mind power in the chat to run the sun. Let me tell you, the mind power in there right now. And let me check Rumble and check, let's see here real quick. I'm horrible at this tech stuff. I can't see any Rumble chats right now, but let me see here. Interesting. No Rumble chats. That's down, but we're going to go back to where we're at. Okay. So food insecurity. So we all know this. We know what's going on with that. Not a good thing. Oh, there's that ugly guy again. What happened here? I don't want that. Stop it. We're going to remove that. All right. We're going to get on to the next thing, though. This is the point. Ladies and gentlemen, food inflation is outpacing everything else. Okay? And there are signals of this. This isn't just me saying this. I like proof. I like terra firma kind of stuff. That's my deal. That's what I like to show people, is, hey, I'm not just pulling this out of nowhere. Okay, here's another one. Here's another story about the slowdown of consumer spending. This is important. Remember the story because the Pepco sees signs of consumer spending. Pepco is in Europe. Europe is in shambles. Okay, so it's not just us. Okay, the whole world is having problems. All the Western banking system is having an inflation problem. They're the load-bearing nations for the production nation of China, the manufacturing nations of China, Taiwan, and the over there in the Eastern Pacific. Okay, though that's we are the load-bearing nations. We've gone from manufacturing to shifting it over there to bearing the load of the consuming what they manufacture. That's been the food chain globally, financially here lately. And with that being said, you can see there's a global slowdown going on, and the central banks are trying to do everything they can all around the world. And that's all there is to it. It's pretty simple. So here's another thing. Now we're going to get into it. Pork you. That's right. That is right. Pork you. Costco, ladies and gentlemen. Some news out of Costco. I like them when they report this stuff. They've reported a lot of stuff. They were the first ones to report. If you were watching the Tiger and the Snake financial report, you could see that I reported over a month ago. Now I don't know how long it was that Costco. It was over a month ago. I was checking out all the inflation, and Costco said they had items in their store that 50% inflation on some items. Literally. And that was Costco reporting that. Now Costco says customers are switching from beef and steak to cheaper meats like pork and chicken. And this may indicate a looming recession. Here we go with the word looming. We are in a recession. We're going to see a mega depression. Forget recession. Recession is nonsense. Mega depression coming soon to a theater near you. You have your tickets. They've been given to you for free via the snake-headed gypsy tin benders at the Federal Reserve. Those are the people that gave you the free tickets to this great show. Isn't that just wonderful? They're going to starve us to death. That's what they're going to do. They're going to starve us to death. If we let them continue on with what they have planned,
we are going to die.
Yes, we are going to die. We have to get our minds together, and we can't do it kinetically, ladies and gentlemen. And you got to watch it, because if someone thinks that, oh, he said something that's violent, they'll come kick my damn door in. That's where we live right now. That's ridiculous. Like I said, we do not promote violence. Always non-kinetic, but we got to stop these people. We have to pray. Get together with people. You know what I preach about on this show. Do what you can. Prepare you and your family and your friends first. And then you are ready to spread the word. And you could spread the word here and there. But like I said, eyedropper, not 5-gallon buckets. Not go right to the Enochs and the Anunnakis and the Ewoks and the lizard people from the Silver Surfer planet on the moon base. You can't go into that. No. I get it, but that's not going to win. It's not going to get them. Repeat. Sociology book. Repeat the message. Repeat the message. Make the message simple. Make the message personal to them. You could take any subject and make it personal for a person. I learned that working on the Ron Paul campaign. I turned a couple of Democrats into libertarians just on like dog laws. Do you know they're going to ban your pit bull? What? Yeah, the Democrats want to ban your pit bull. Why would you? Banning a dog, isn't that racism? Oh, yeah, that's like racism. Yes, boom. You just personalize something for somebody. Hey, your money in the bank, the FDIC, they don't have enough money to insure that. And if, something happened, and look at the economy's kind of crazy right now. Something happened, all your money would be gone. You plant that seed. That's it. Simple. He might go look into that. He might run into an article written by an Austrian economics enthusiast. And bang, we've got a person who's entering this world and understanding the important things that are in front of us that are killing us all right, that are stabbing your wallet, ruining everything, making it so you're going to starve to death because you can't afford to eat, okay? And they're going to understand this a little bit more. I don't know if we have the time, but we have to try. So, anyways, people are switching from beef and steak to pork and chicken, cheaper meats. Terra firma. That's what people eat. That's what people do, right? So you know that's terra firma. That's the kind of stuff I like. Which leads us to our next wonderful story. Okay, where are we at here? Let me see. I'm going to take a sip of espresso and I'm going to try to calm down. Because this is an upsetting story. This is another thing. I don't know where everyone is at. Hello, Marco, Polo. Nope. Hello, everybody. Where are you? Have you guys noticed this fine little detail? Now, I want my viewers to correct me if I'm wrong, because if I'm not wrong, every person in this country's ass should be on fire, so hot that they're going past musky maws. Okay, you know, it's going to be like, hey, what the hell is that? That's us with our asses on fire because we're pissed off. That's what that was, Elon. By the way, you who take all the, your nose, your snout you're up to your shoulders in the croft of corruption provided by the snake-headed gypsy tin vendors at the Federal Reserve. You're Musk. I'm Twitter live streaming right now. That'll help. No, who cares? No, we get no views. We're shadow banned. It will not let me over 300. I got over 300 people following me on Twitter, right? I'm nobody special, right? I'm new to this stuff, right? I got over 300 followers, but then it took them all away, and then it adds some, and then it takes them away. I don't know unless that's how people are. I don't know. I don't get it, but it's crazy. They're shadow banning. Don Jeffries is the invisible man who's going to be on here in a little while. He's the invisible man. So I'm plugging for Don Jeffries. He's going to be on YouTube. He's going to be on Rockfin here on America Unplugged's channel at 5 p.m. So check him out. Also, I believe Chris Graves is going to be on tonight. Check out Chris Graves' Twitter, Chris Graves Mask Guy, or check him out on the TNP platforms. That's the best place to find Mr. Graves and all of us, actually. It's a good place to find us. Want to check it out. So this wretched thing. The Senate just passed the debt ceiling. Tiger, old news. No, not old news. That's the problem. The goldfish mine. We don't have goldfish mine here on the Tiger's Den. We speak working man's English. We take the words that they twist and they lie and they manipulate. We break them down for you so everyone can understand them, so you can set forth like Johnny Appleseed, all right, and spread the word and spread liberty and spread truth around. That's what we do here. And we hope we don't have a tick crawling on our head. No, okay. Making sure. Well, this is the problem with being an outdoors enthusiast. The Senate passed this debt ceiling bill. And what's amazing about this, ladies and gentlemen, now I'm going to read again. I read this to you last week. Same time, same bat channel, okay? I read this last week. 3 measures, including selling existing and blah, blah, blah. Where is it? By law. Yeah, unlike the Treasury. Okay, where is it? What's coming due? Where's it? This is what I'm getting at. For 2 years, there is no debt ceiling. Where is it? Where is it? Did they say that? Blah, 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 blah. 3 measures included investments, blah, 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 blah. Listen, yeah. For 2 years, there's no debt ceiling. There is no debt ceiling. That's what it says in here. That's what it says in more than one article that I have read. There is no debt ceiling for 2 years. Think about that for a minute. Think about if for 2 years you can take your credit card and use it with no repercussions. No debt ceiling. No cap. No anything. But the Republicans, they got your back. And Trump and all the Republicans who play. They've got your back, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry, because guess what? They got concessions. What are the concessions? After the 2 years of no debt ceiling, of big pockets, deep pockets. Look how deep our pockets are. Why am I over here eating dust and mixing it with bolts and nuts and grease and eating that as cereal in the morning with some grass? Okay, why am I doing that over here if I have these huge pockets? If my country is so rich that I live in and they count on my tax money, your tax money, and everybody's tax money, we got all this money laying around, that why are they charging that? Why are they doing taxes? And no, I'm not going off into some liberal crap. What I'm trying to explain to you is why are we paying taxes if they can have an unlimited debt ceiling? If that means for 2 years, we are unlimited. We have unlimited money. Where's that coming from? It's not unlimited. They'll pull it from the future into the now. Okay. And then when this is finally over, what's going to happen? It's very easy. This is very easy to explain to people. The money, they will sell off the debt around the world. They will sell, it's just basically selling off the dollar. Selling off the debt is selling off the dollar because the dollar is nothing but debt. They're going to sell off the dollar around the world, and it's all going to reappropriate here. And I don't know if, like I said, hyper warp, whatever kind of inflation you want to say, it's going to be inflation like you've never seen before. And that's when they'll say, we need to get the CBDC in. And I didn't bring any CBDC news to the table today because we have important stuff going on that I want to point out. And it's been slow a little. It's been slow. We're tracking it. Nothing major going on, except every tech company, Swift, all that. They're converting. Their ledger systems are all set up. If you really want to know how, like, the nuts and bolts of how that works, you can go to my Substack. It's the Angry Tigers newsletter. Go check that out. Okay. And it's one of my first videos, Emergency CBDC Coming Fast. Check it out. It's kind of lengthy. I get into some white papers. It's kind of technical. All right. But it's one of my first reports as well. But I really lay it out, breaking the nuts and bolts of how it actually works. If you're a techie, you might appreciate it. And, not if you're a super techie, because I break it down in a way that everyone can understand. Even back then, that was my goal with doing this kind of stuff. So, but when we speak about CBDC, what do we need to do with that?
I say this calls for action, and now, nip it in the bud.
Yes, nip it in the bud with power and speed, as the guy from what's the show? You guys know this show. Goodness gracious, my son used to watch it. Me and him all the time. The guys, they drive cars around, the British guys. The new guys tried to replace them, and it sucks. It's not Car and Driver. Help me out here in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. Let's see. You know what? Let's see what's going on here. Harlan always has excellent comments. Once again, con. Yes, con men. Harlan, you're reading my mind. I have that written down here. They are con men. Yes. That's exactly what's going on. So we've got the debt ceiling crap going on. All right. Now, I'm not going to keep going in Avengers. No, thanks, Rhonda. But no, it wasn't the Avengers. What were they? They reviewed cars. They were British guys too. It was a real popular show. Why can't it's on the tip of my tongue because I've been immersed in this financial stuff here. Anyway, let's get back to it. I'm sure it'll probably pop into my brain. So where were we? Important stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to attempt to play a video for you. Let me know in the chat if you would be so kind. Someone let me know if you can hear it. So I'm going to try this here. We're going to get it rolling. We're going to get into the global slowdown. There's something going on. We have a slowdown everywhere. Remember a month ago, I reported on a slowdown with the trucking industry. Okay. And it was being reported. Okay. We've been tracking that. I've been saying, hey, something's going on. Goods aren't moving. I've been watching the money volatility index, the M2 index. Money's not moving. Okay. We know money's not moving in the banking system for the smaller banks because they're consolidating those guys, but money's not moving in the country in goods and services wise. The trucking industry has a slowdown because goods and services aren't moving as fast as they normally do. Okay. This is not a good sign. They're at an all-time low. The index of goods moving is at an all-time low. Our manufacturing index is on an all-time low. Our unemployment rate, by the way, before we get into this global slowdown, is at a 2-year low. Where was that? That's kind of important too. We'll get into that in a second. Unemployment. Okay. Unemployment is the highest it has been in 2 years. Okay. That is That is crazy. But let's get into this video, and we're going to talk about this after. So where you at? There we are. There we go. And I would like to thank Mr. Harlan Stonewall, and also Vince has been Mr. Vince. You guys in unison and about the same time. We were like, hey, we found a nice video that succinctly puts this together. And I agree. It's 100% a nice video that succinctly puts this together. Let me get my ugly face out of here.
U.S. truckers and trucking
Can you guys hear this?
Are warning that we're in the middle of a freight recession worse than the 2008 crisis. As retail sales drop and both manufacturing and import activity continue to slow down due to lower consumer demand in 2023. The road transportation industry is seeing orders being cut in half, leading to falling cargo volumes all across the country. The collapse was the word used by one industry CEO to define what just happened to freight rates, and that is putting several trucking companies at serious risk of bankruptcy. But according to Western States Trucking Association, the ongoing downturn in the freight market is only a sign something far more distressing is about to break out in America. That's what we're going to expose in today's video. But before moving on, we kindly ask you to support our work with a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our upcoming videos. 2 years after stimulus checks fueled the boom in consumer demand that broke supply chains and clogged U.S. ports, freight demand is falling off a cliff, industry leaders report. Many trucking companies are saying this is the worst freight market since the Great Recession, and we've compiled evidence that supports their statements. Both independent truck drivers and larger carriers are now witnessing a 180-degree shift in demand compared to 2021 levels. When the health crisis locked people at home and Americans started to order more goods online, the freight market boomed. Rates shot up by up to 500% in some areas. But things started to cool off in 2022, and since then, per-mile rates have been plunging at the fastest pace on record. By November, prices were already nearing pre-pandemic levels. On the other hand, higher maintenance prices, as well as an increase in the cost of capital and other difficulties in operating, have resulted in a brutal mix for a notoriously cyclical industry, one that has the potential to be worse than famous trucking downturns experienced in 2019 and in 2008-2009. The freight market is one of the most volatile markets on the planet. Hot markets can turn ice cold in a flash, particularly after the federal government and central bankers flooded our economy with so much liquidity and then proceeded to institute the fastest monetary tightening cycle in history, wrote Craig Fuller, CEO at FreightWaves, in a March report. Back in the 1970s, long-haul trucking used to be a stable, high-paying job, but decades of deregulation and poor working arrangements made many truckers leave the industry. They typically had to work grueling hours for little pay in conditions that could put them and everyone else on the road in serious danger. When the health emergency broke out, the transportation sector was short on 100,000 truckers, and the record freight rates recorded back then attracted many newcomers to the industry. Today, instead of a shortage, the freight market is flooded with thousands of small-scale owner-operators and carriers of all sizes. There was a lot of talk of a truck driver shortage, noted FreightWaves analyst Rachel Premack, and people started to think, oh, there's a shortage in this industry. I should jump in. I should make a quick buck. I should really profit off of this. Too many folks get in, and pretty soon after that, what goes up must go down, she said. Premag estimates that some drivers may have pulled in as much as $400,000 in income during the boom. According to Bloomberg, in a span of 18 months, the number of trucks on the road exploded as drivers chased those high per-mile rates of 2021, while big companies started to expand their operations and take market share. But the threat of a deep recession is now reducing demand for goods, and as a result, cargo volumes are plunging all over the United States. In previous trucking downturns, not only did you see a slowdown in volume related to the industrial economy, but you also saw an overbuild of capacity, Fuller added. In other words, with the number of drivers increasing, the market has seen a massive surge in trucking capacity over the past year and a half. But given that demand for freight was going down at the same time as more trucking services started to become available for companies, today there is far more trucking capacity than cargo volume to be transported in the U.S. One major piece of evidence that a major shift is already in course is the fact that the tender rejection rate is shrinking, as evidenced by the national truckload. Just like airlines, individual drivers or individual carriers tend to overbook their loads and often have to reject shipper requests. The harder the market, the more they'll simply reject a job. A couple of years ago, nearly 30% of outbound tenders were being rejected, mostly because capacity was extremely tight. But fast forward to today, we're in the opposite environment, with tender rejections having fallen to below even the lows seen during the pandemic.
Point being, that's a 15-minute video. Check it out. Over at Epic Economist, they have a YouTube channel. Check them out. They definitely are cutting edge. They're right there with us, step by step. They were calling about this a while ago, and what this video is pointing out is what we've been talking about. There's two things that I wanted to. The two things I got out of this video is, number one, it was a plan. The whole thing was a plan. It was a setup, okay, to consolidate. It wasn't hard. They built everything up to a crescendo high, right, during the COVID pandemic, okay? And now they're crashing everything by tightening interest rates, okay? And not only the tightening interest rates, but the raising of inflation. So the market, the index of which the pace at which goods are moving is extremely slow. And you had like this. The trucking industry is just one example. All this stuff was built up. Okay. It was a giant scam, a giant con. That's why I had this written down. Harlan, was reading my mind when he said the con thing. It was, here, Harlan, I'm gonna throw you up on screen here, bud. Harlan, one of these days, if you're up to it, I would love to get you on the show just to talk, some goods. Maybe we'll get you on the Tigers Den, something like that. He wants to point out, he says, I want to point out just how spot on this video is. Usually videos on trucking is full of spin and propaganda, right? And this started early last year. You are correct. And he also goes on to say, almost all freight brokers are thieves, in my humble opinion, over 24 years of experience. Yes, Harlan. And you know what, Harlan, in that video, they mentioned China. Now, I happen to have some intimacy with the Chinese shipping, freight shipping containers. Did fireworks for years. So shipped many containers through brokers, myself, for other companies, working for companies. And now the whole shipping industry, the fireworks shipping industry, one guy wrapped up the whole industry. Our containers went from, to get a container shipped, the cost of the shipping, okay, they went from around 10 to 15 grand, all right, to 30 in a year, in 1 year, okay? And the shipping of everything went up, everything across the board. Now, I'm not sure how the shipping works with all the other goods, but it's pretty consolidated. So whoever, in China, it would, oh, cool. He says he would come on. And yeah, all right, Harlan, get with me, man, brother. You know how to get a hold of me. So I'll be looking forward to scheduling you in. That'll be sweet. Also, I want to welcome Joy Jolt 44. Thanks for viewing. New here to the Tigers Den. I haven't noticed you in the chat before. You are welcome. You are here roaring for liberty with the rest of these bright minds in the chat. It is great. But yeah, cool, Harlan. So, and the second thing I got out of this video is it's the slowdown and it's the plan. It's all here in this video. They break the plan down for you, but that plan that they broke down, it's not only for this trucking industry thing, slow down. They did that with everything. They built everybody up. People were spending more money than they had because they had more disposable income because the government was giving it to them. This is a trick. This is a Jedi mind trick. These are evil people, and they have venom, and their venom,
It'll burn your face right off.
that's what it'll do. It'll burn your face right off, just like Mr. T says. It's no good. It's no good at all. Okay, so they spread all this free money. The trough of corruption, they let the public share in the trough. Okay, and in the public, just a little, the crumbs. Here's some crumbs from the trough of corruption. That's not meant for us. That trough of corruption that is provided by the central bank. Okay, it's meant for the multinational, the megacorps, and the politicians, and the military-industrial complex. You can't forget them, and the pharmaceutical, the medical industrial complex. That's who the trough of corruption is for. Okay, that's not that's to rob the American people. That's the purpose of the trough of corruption. So they gave us some of the value and the time that they robbed from us, not the time, but the value that they robbed from us back. And COVID, and people spent more money. They got more comfortable. Their lifestyle upgraded a notch here, a notch there. Okay. And now everybody's got to tighten up. Everybody's got to tighten up. And they're going to have to keep tightening up as the snake constricts, as they consolidate. They're consolidating the regional banks. They're consolidating everything and everyone, because that's what snakes do before they eat their prey. Okay, all the money's going to come back home because they're central planners. They don't understand that the market is a wild animal. It's a wild thing. It's like the human action, like Ludwig van Mises. He put it so well in his book. Check that book out, The Human Action, please. Check out the Mises Institute. Check out the Ron Paul Institute. Educate yourself on the economy, on Austrian economics, because we're living in a Keynesian fever dream. That's what we're living in right now. And this is the problem with the central planners and the Keynesians. They want a central plan and macroize everything and macro plan everything. You can't do that because it's an animal. It's like a wild animal. Humans are unpredictable. We're unpredictable. The market, it's unpredictable. Things happen and they try to compensate for it. And not all of them, are evil people. They're just Keynesians. They don't know any better. They don't know any better. They ain't been taught anything. There's a great movie called Valdez is Coming with Burt Lancaster. You got to check it out. It's great. And at the end of the movie, he's talking to, they catch him, right? These guys are catching, I'm not want to spoil too much of it, but these guys are hunting him down and they catch him. And the one guy, the leader of these guys, catch him. And he goes, hey, you shot one of my men, 800 yards away. And Valdez goes, more like 1,000. And then he goes, what, were you in the military? He goes, yeah. He goes, Indian fighter. He goes, how long were you an Indian fighter for? When? And this is what I'll never forget this. He goes, before I know better. So these are just people that don't know better, right? And once you know better, though, there's no excuse. Remember that. The key advice today, I like to give a little bit of advice, and I give it to myself. I'm no better than anybody else. And it's for all of us. It's for me and you guys. Once you know better and you do it anyway, then you are fully wrong. Then you should take an account of what's going on with you to make you do a behavior or say something or do something or act in a way that you know better to act that way, okay, because you've been through it. Maybe you're not putting yourself in somebody else's shoes. Maybe you're not, giving someone the benefit of the doubt, or maybe you're not doing that for yourself, okay? Or, if you know better, don't do it. It's real simple. You sleep way better at night. Way, way better at night. Anyways, back to what I was saying. So this video, there is a global slowdown. I reported last week, Chinese youth unemployment, and they had some bunch of garbage reasons in there, okay? No, it's slow there. I have, a lighting company. They're bothering the heck out of me right now, right? And since I'm on the list, any kind of horticultural anything, if they sell containers to put pots in or plants in, they're harassing me right now. Fireworks people driving me nuts from China. This is all from China. These are all manufacturers. So it's slow. Frankie, don't need no light. Frank, you don't need no lights. What's going on? No, I'm sorry, season, no lights. I haven't sold a light in 10 months, you know? So it's grim out there, ladies and gentlemen. And here we go. More proof. You see, I pulled up some articles. We're gonna shoot through some articles here just to prove the point, just so you guys know how important this is. Okay. And I am going to go with the entire, because we're gonna fire these off one at a time. So to prove the point, global slowdown, consolidation, all planned by the snake-headed gypsy tin bedders at the Federal Reserve and in their basement with their cauldron of mercury as the steam comes up and they inhale the steam and they have these Keynesian fever dreams of destruction and megadeath, which they spread throughout the world with a smile on their face. You know, this stupid corrupt system that's been in place, you know, since 1913 and before. This just, ladies and gentlemen, look into the history of central banks. Everything is you'll see the map is laid out for you. They create, they destroy, they create again. They always win. They always win. When the person asks you, well, why would the Federal Reserve try to destroy their own currency? Because when that currency is destroyed, they create another currency and they're in there again. Okay? They're in there again. They defecate the financial assets and everything that they ate and swallowed and partied on, and all the people and all the death that they caused. They're putrid. They're full of excrement. They are rotting in their souls. Their eyes are soulless snake eyes, stare into the pearly venom fangs of the snake-headed gypsy tin benders. The public is mesmerized by their song of oh my goodness, of corruption. You know, what is it? The ladies, the three ladies over there, the siren song of the snake-headed gypsy tin benders as the general public stares into their pearly fangs divine. They don't even know that they're being lulled into destruction as consumer debt is at an all-time high, as the defaults, ladies and gentlemen, at an all-time high, record pace. Because there's a global slowdown, because they are destroying the currency and people are trying to maintain their lifestyles. They will struggle in the grip of the snake as it constricts. They will do everything they can. The ribs are cracking. The breaths are getting shorter. The ability to breathe is being slowly disabled, and they still don't know it. Trump and Biden coin himself, and he's fallen down all over the place, and we make fun. We got these clowns as presidents, and we're making fun of our leaders in front of the world, and we look like clowns. Well, you know what they say about us in other countries? And I'm not sitting here hating America. Do you know what they say about us? We look like fools. Look what we're doing with our military. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. We look like buffoons. Buffoons, drunken sailors with a pocket full of money down in the Barbary Coast in San Francisco. That's what we look like, for Pete's sake. My goodness, I'm getting upset. Here we go. Okay, so global slowdown, China. Okay, Southeast and Asian exports to offset U.S. slowdown. They can't rely on Southeast Asian exports. In other words, they're exporting to other countries. They're exporting. The exports to other countries is not going to offset the slowdown of, like I said, of the load-bearing economies, the economies that have been turned into service economies by their governments, and Republican and Democrat here in our case. Okay, Clinton and Bush with NAFTA. Perot was right. They're going to have a big fat sucking sound, and that's right. We got a big fat sucking sound, and now we got a bunch of now the youth is doomed. They've been destroyed by the social engineering in the bullcrap, archaic educational system that we trust and we put our kids in. Get them out of those hell holes. Get them out. They make you stupid. You can do a better job of educating your kid even after work, an hour a day. You don't need all that crap. Anyways, sorry, went off. Even the MacGuffin, even these cons, the climate con artists, they're seeing a slowdown in investments because there's a global slowdown. Okay? Bang, there's another one. Global slowdown. Business Recorder. These are all within the last couple days and some in the every article. Today, last couple days, last couple hours. Okay? Is the bell closed? Yeah, it's closed. I got to hurry up here. So, All right, global slowdown from the Business Recorder curbs Walmart exports, imports, posting negative growth. Okay, that's coming out of the shipping industry over in China. China's trade slowdown points to global woes. Wall Street Journal, you caught up. Oh, the geniuses from Harvard, all these writers, they caught up with the Tiger's Den and Gerald Celente and Gregory Manarino and David Knight and Number 6 and Chris Graves and everybody else who's over here. We're being shadow banned, telling you guys the truth. The Wall Street Journal finally caught up. June 7th, today. Okay, is it June 7th? No. 2 days ago, excuse me. At 6:31 a.m., Stella wrote an article on the Wall Street Journal that there's a slowdown. We've been reporting on this for months. It makes me so angry. Let's go over it. Let's check out the markets here. Let's check out the markets. I get angry and it drives me crazy. And the problem is with me, ladies and gentlemen, is I don't have it, and I have a lot of hot breath to blow.
I can blow up an elephant with the breath in my body. Ah!
Here we go. All right, that keyed me down a little bit. All right, I'm sorry. I'm pissed because you know what? We're all gonna suffer. That even if you don't have kids, that your niece, your nephew, somebody you know, everyone we know, we're all going to suffer. Even if you're super rich, all right, and you're watching the Tiger's Den, which I doubt, you're gonna suffer because the inflation is going to hurt us. And if you're driving a Lambo right now, you might have to downgrade to a Volvo. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I get upset sometimes about this. That's why I get mad, because it's going to cause suffering. Let's see what happened in the markets today. So S&P 500 up marginally, very marginally, 4.9, 5 basis points, 0.2%. No big deal. NASDAQ down. When NASDAQ finished in the positive, we're at 43.81, points, up not even a whole percentage point, at, basically a quarter of a percentage point. Volatility index, we did raise 1 whole percentage point and almost a half. So we're at 1.32% on that. And the relative strength of the dollar was up, and it's been dancing around this week, but it's staying up. It's the prettiest girl at the dance right now. I guess that was a stupid referral, but it is. It's the nicest looking lady, at the dance. And, I just definitely, want to say it's not going to last. And we all know this, so I'm looking at the chat. It distracted me. I like our new listener. I'm going to put your comment up. We got Preach Angry Tiger. What else? Some pineapples. Nice. I like that. Chris Graves. What's going on? The mastodon of researchers. Check out Chris Graves. Anyways, back to the market. We're already over the bond. Of course, there's been manipulation by the Federal Reserve. They've been buying. Okay, I want to go to the day here. I am on the day already. Okay, so the 10-year yield. We watch that because that's the stability of the bond market. We got a worldwide inverted yield curve, and we have an inverted yield curve here at home. Okay, and we have the debt market unstable, and there was a little bit of a sell-off this week. Okay, and look, we were down, and what happened? We went up. What does that mean? And we went down again. This is just today, the buying activity of the Fed today. Where did we? It's up, not a lot, almost 0.5%. But I would like to go over to do we got a week here? We got a 1 month. You see this? This is how you track the Fed buying up the debt. You see this? Look at that. It goes up, it goes down. It goes up, it goes down. When it goes up, the market doesn't like that. The Fed buys and it goes down. That's what happens. I mean, what we've seen over the last 2 weeks, ladies and gentlemen, with the debt market was unbelievable. I cannot imagine the trillions of dollars, okay, that they had to create. That is in their black book. That's not in their beige book. We went over the beige book, and we'll keep up to date on the beige book when they release their beige book and all their numbers, okay? For those of you who are not familiar, it is the book that they release all their numbers out of. But so we didn't go to that. But they haven't released it yet. Okay, but they will release one in a couple of weeks. But yeah, you can watch them if you watch the 10-year yield. It goes up, things aren't stable. And keep your eyeballs, if you're new to the show and you're watching on a TNP platform or you're new, you got money in the market, you keep your eyeballs on that 10-year yield. When it starts spiking, watch your rear end. And that is not financial advice from the guy with calluses wearing the Iron Maiden shirt, okay? Believe me, I am not a financial advisor. Time is my most valuable commodity, and I try to spend it wisely, okay? I don't chase dollars with my time. Just enough to live. Not a very good philosophy, let me tell you. Anyways, not financial advice. Would like to plug real quick, and we're going to get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to say thank you for everyone viewing. Thank you for all the support you guys have given me. I want to tell everybody, you're not alone in this world. This is I had a conversation with a dear friend yesterday, and there's so many people in this world that are alone, this conspiracy world, whatever you want to call it. We tell the truth. Okay. We're looking for the truth. All right. And we're looking out for other people, and we're genuine. And we're, don't feel alone. When you feel alone, get on the show, get in the DMs, get in the chat, correspond with some people, build the community, don't isolate yourself from the world. Don't do that. That's not the way that's not how to do it. I'm telling you they win when you do that. They win. When you feel defeated, you lose hope, you go and you hide. You got your 10,000 rounds and all your MREs and all that other crap, and you're going to go hide in the woods. Yeah, you might have to do that to survive. I get it. If that's what you got to do to survive, I get it. But don't do that right now. We're not there yet. All right? Let's try to spread the word, and with the word, spread some love. Okay? Because people like honey a lot better than they like crap. So just real simple advice from the Tiger here on that group. You're not alone. Thank you, everybody, for watching. If you're going to invest in gold, check out davidknight.gold. Check out wisewolf.gold. But go to davidknight.gold and then go through that and go to wisewolf.gold. David Knight, check him out for geopolitics, daily news, Monday through Friday. He's on, he does a 3-hour show, puts a lot into it, and you get good information from him. Check out wisewolf.gold. Check out all the guys at, America Unplugged over on Rockfin. Check out Gardner Goldsmith, hardworking, genuine, great guy. He's on Rockfin Monday through Friday, starts at 6 p.m. And he's got so much energy. He's a marathon man. You get so much information. Check him out. Check out Chris Graves. Check us out. Check out the TNP platform. Check out Conspiring with Tom Cooper. That Tom Cooper, one heck of a guy. Check it out. He will tell you what is on his mind. Check all these guys out. Get some information. Enlighten your mind. Time is a valuable commodity. Don't waste it. Remember, this, time is your most valuable commodity. Cherish it. Try not to waste it. Spend it doing something you love, with someone you love, improving yourself, preferably all three of those things. Ladies and gentlemen, have a good weekend, and until we meet again.
Your time is your most valuable commodity. Cherish it and use it wisely. Until we meet again.